Okay, let's switch to agriculture. Nutrien is a favorite way among some investors to play global food. Our guest just upgraded the fertilizer giant to buy. For one thing, he sees, quote, tangible signs of life in potash. Let's get more from Steve Hansen, Managing Director and Equity Analyst at Raymond James. Steve, always great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure, Andy. Good to see you.
Nutrien, we'll look at maybe a 5-year stock. It has been a disappointment for investors, but you think it's time to buy?
Yeah, that's right, Andy. It's been a pretty long and painful slide off the highs we saw right after the breakout of the war. Corn prices and a number of other commodities that Nutrien's exposed to had huge fly-ups after that big event. But we've since seen a really long retracement, and we're now at levels where we're starting to grind off the bottom, which really improves the risk-reward relationship in our view.
Potash is vital to the company's profits. We're looking at a 1-year chart. Maybe you can look at a 5 or a 10-year chart. You reckon potash has been bouncing along the bottom, but is finally showing signs of life?
Finally showing signs of life, exactly. So your point, it's been a long and torturous slide, frankly, again, coming off of the fly-up of the war. But we've since seen a number of key events take place. We saw a large China contract settle earlier just late last year. And just most recently, we've seen, again, Southeast Asia and Brazilian benchmarks start to slide up off the bottom. And that's really important, again, for Nutrien. It's one of their largest, most exposed commodities. It's about a third of the business, but it's more of that in terms of profitability. And so as it starts to come up off the bottom here, we see a good risk reward, as I mentioned, and corn is a key piece of that, I think, as you mentioned in your remarks.
It's interesting you mentioned Brazil. I'm not sure if you saw our interview with Mayo Schmidt, the former Nutrien boss. You may have heard, you probably know, he's involved with a company called Brazil Potash these days.
That's correct, yeah. So they're looking to construct a large Brazilian potash project in Brazil up by the Amazon. Brazil is kind of an interesting market from an ag perspective because it's got, this enormous growth aspects to it, but it does not have a lot of domestic potash production, just a very small slice. So looking to construct some projects there. I would note that's a tough project in general. These are large projects with large capital requirements, but Mayo is obviously a very capable executive.
The company, all companies, of course, talk a big game about cutting costs, but you think Nutrien has been making real progress?
Yeah, that's right. So the company is really trying to focus on controlling the controllables, and that's really what we can ask from them. They don't control potash price, of course. And so they've been embarked on this new platform plan recently. They outlined it about 6 months ago. And in talks with the company recently, they're either on track or ahead of schedule to take out about $200 million of costs from just a broader footprint. Recall they're a global organization, so there's huge opportunities across the platform.
Can you give us an idea? I mean, how much of, I know it varies, but roughly how much of Nutrien's profit would come from mining potash?
Yeah, no, sure. It's about 40%, depending on the year. It's a little bit less than that in some years, and it's a lot more than that in other years. It just depends on the price. Down here, again, where we're scraping along the bottom and just coming off that lift, as I described earlier, it's at the lower end of that threshold. But if you were to look back to 21, 22, it was substantially higher because we had potash prices that were pushing $800, which is more than twofold where we are today.
Maybe we'll have a look maybe at a 5-year chart for corn, a vital crop, obviously in North America, at the center of our processed food system. That has seen a rally over the past few months, corn.
Yeah, that's right. We've seen a couple of factors helping drive that, Andy. It's been really great to see, frankly. Corn had been toiling away below $4 a bushel for a little while earlier last summer. We're back up above $4.50 a bushel now, with futures even pushing $4.75 into later this year. That just makes the farmer economics much better. And when farmer economics better, they're willing to buy more products to put down on the ground to help their crops out. And that's where Nutrien really plays a key role. They're the largest global ag retailer, again, globally, but even in North America.
Yeah, is phosphate important to them? I know it's not nearly as big as potash, but is it a pretty big contributor?
Well, in the context that they sell a lot of phosphate, yes, it's not a big contribution from a sort of a mix standpoint. It'd be pretty small. It'd be the smallest of the three nutrients. Again, people often talk about potash, nitrogen, phosphate. Phosphate would be the smallest of the three, but it's still relevant and it's still important for farmers to put down on the ground every year.
Oh, of course, then nitrogen. Yeah, I mean I think that was the core of Agrium before the merger. And are they a significant global player in nitrogen fertilizer?
They are indeed, yeah. So it's kind of simple math. It's about a third, a third, a third, a third potash, a third nitrogen, phosphate, and a third retail, as I described. And so they are a major player. There's a few larger players, certainly, but in the domestic context, like in North America specifically, they are a major player for sure.
And one thing I'm curious about, if we got a big rally in North American natural gas prices, would that tend to harm their nitrogen production margins in that it's a feedstock?
Great question. Yeah. So just for your viewers' reference, so natural gas is what we use to make nitrogen fertilizers here domestically. Other countries will use things like coal, but the key point is that rising costs of natural gas would impact them. But just remember, historically, you often see a relationship between the two. Natural gas prices rising can often lead to upward drift on nitrogen prices as well. And one of the key sort of learnings, I think, from the war that broke out recently and natural gas prices in Europe is that it knocked out a lot of capacity overseas. And so we're really blessed here in North America with low-cost gas on a relative basis. So as long as we've got that low-cost relative advantage, we'll be in a good spot.
It's interesting. I mean, it's now, quite a while since that tragic war in Ukraine, Putin's attack on that nation. Have the global fertilizer markets settled down? Is there a steady amount of fertilizer still coming out of Russia and Ukraine?
Yeah, great question. It really has sort of renormalized, if you will. There was a great effort initially to put sanctions on Russia, of course, broadly based. But the one aspect that was really not that targeted, frankly, was the fertilizer space. Governments globally are just too worried about food price inflation, what that can mean for their population bases. And so, most of the sanctions were applied elsewhere, frankly, and the fertilizer production sort of continued unabated. There is, of course, some restrictions on who can buy Russian fertilizers now for obvious reasons, but, they're getting their product out to the buyers of, I'll call them last resort. China will buy anything from Russia.
And just, Steve, what do you think? Can you generalize? Is this going to be a decent year for materials investors, 2025, or are there any themes that you're seeing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think more broadly, if I look across our coverage universe, we've got a few names in the material space that are really well positioned right now for the ag specific reasons I've already described. But even if you look more broadly across some of the other materials, chemicals names in Canada, we're broadly constructive. So I would say the short answer is yes.